Welcome back to the GLAC Studios oil painting tutorial. I am Gomadi Sivasankaran. We are in class 20 of the large canvas painting oil painting tutorial of Ardhanareeshwarar, which is half man, half woman god. And we have gone through layers one, two, three. We are working on layer four, which is giving us a lot of depth and dimension. And to just go over as a recap, what we did in the previous session was really working on the animal. We did the bull, and then we came back to work on the jewelry also a little bit. So we did fairly well with all that. Um, Now we will continue, like I said in the previous session, we will continue working on one of the animals at least. So there is the lion that we will have to work on, which we will do right now, and then move back into some more of the accessories and details. And let's see how far we get on with that. Before we start the work, what I would like to mention is that, of course, you would have by now figured out that there's a lot of detailing that is involved, and you are having to work in sections. The way I have built these classes will help you to focus on each section at one time, and come back to the other section and go in circles to make sure that the whole canvas is completed. But at the same time, if this space itself is a little too much for you, I would request you to be very sure to, pause at the time when you need the pause, and focus only on that section to the extent that you would like to, and come back. Yeah. So do not feel pressurized in any way that, oh, if it is 19 hours and I should have taken only 19 hours or 18 hours or 30 hours or such, whatever I'm doing, trying to do in the live camera is a sample set for you to not gauge the timing, the sample set for you to review how things are, on your canvas, and um, only look at the quality of it more importantly rather than the time. Yeah. I am trying to build this in a way you would have by now figured out that, there is this, a recap, there is summary, and we go over some critical areas in the 1 hour. So you're getting that time to focus on that critical area, each critical area for that class as such. So that's how the class is devised. Um, and I have tried to make sure that, in an hour, okay, I'm covering certain sections and then making a stop deliberately. So it is not too much for you. But even if that needs a little more time, give it the time that it deserves, you deserve, and also this painting deserves to work on it. So keep that in mind. And with that note in mind, let's get started with today's work. Okay, so now we are going to focus on the animal, which is the lion. And I am bringing this camera a little closer so it's even clearer. So, when we started with the bull in the last session, what did we do? We looked at the eyes first to see how things are and how can we, build the eyes a little better. The same thing I would do. I think when I drew this, I just did the superstructure and I don't remember doing any kind of detail at all. I just, plotted something. So it doesn't have any kind of, detailing. So what I'm going to do is to now start doing that kind of detailing that I would like to do for the eye first, and the nose and the facial structure a little bit, and then come to the overall area of the animal. And for that, I'm going to start with, first of all, a little bit of vermilion base that I would like to have for the eye. And then I will use black and burnt umber, mostly, ivory black and burnt umber. The color tonalities overall that I will be using, I think, will be, yes, obviously the vermilion, burnt umber, black will be there. Yellow ochre is going to play a key role. Titanium white as the base color will be there. And what else can I say? I might take a bit of lemon yellow or cadmium orange to, kind of, give that shine here and there if needed. Otherwise, I think this will be the color range that I will stick to. Materials are going to be the same, no big change. So let's get on to the work directly. Um, I am picking up a bit of vermilion now, first of all, to make proper eye circles, which weren't there previously. So I'm just making that proper circle. I want it to, look properly like the lion's eye. I am not looking at the references though. If you want me to um, show you what I'm doing in terms of references, um, this reference, the eye is good. I like this one. Um, and I also like this eye reference. I think this is the overall structure that we took when we drew the lion. So I'm going to use this structure, but it doesn't have this red kind of eye. It has just a black and the white. It doesn't give you the detailing. I'm just going to add that, red eyeball kind of thing first, and darken it a bit. Once I'm done with that, I'm going to take a bit of ivory black. I'm going to go over that side. I want the eye to have that curve also, which I did not do in the previous, layer. I think I just did it light curve, but it could be enhanced, and you don't need to necessarily stick to this black, ivory black. You could do burnt umber also if you like it that way. The eye seems much more pronounced now, stronger. And what it needs now is this enhancement. So I'm just giving a little more of the red here. Okay. And I'm using the vermilion for the tongue. I'll come back to it. I'm just using up the color that is in my brush. Yeah. So I'm doing that, and I will go back to taking a bit of titanium white, ever so lightly, using it to go over that, giving it the touch, very slight, you know, touch of white there. Mhm. And then I would like a ivory black little dot inside of the red. So I'm trying to give that, the iris pupil kind of impact. So I'm just going back with the titanium white to see if I could give that light, mhm. So we have that there. I'm blending it in ever so lightly. So the eye needs very carefully. I'm blending the white so it doesn't stand out too strongly, but it's still there. Yeah. Okay. It is looking better, but yeah, I guess we'll have to improvise a bit more when we work on the next layer as well. But I'm trying to see what I could do in this layer itself. And I'm going to use the dry brush to go around that area with the ivory black or burnt umber, whatever is remaining, to just draw those lines for me to remember where the shades will have to be slightly dark. I'm going to just mark it. We have already marked it in our previous layer, so it's a little easier though. But still, yes. And then I'm going to adjust the nose. I'm using ivory black mostly to go for a bold, but mine is also blended a little bit with a burnt umber already, so I don't see that, thing that it should be looking totally ivory blackish. For me, I think it looks slightly on the browny black side. So it's not the. Hmm. I need the help of the reference to see what it was here. Okay. So there was space for the um, teeth of the animal. So I'm just going to do the curve here nicely and leave it there. And on this, I'm going to add. So when you take the titanium white, be sure that it isn't totally on the whitey side. If it is blended a little bit with burnt umber or very black, just make sure that it's not totally whitey white. Any which ways, because we just did this, it's going to be wet here and it will blend in. So I'm just looking at the teeth structure to give it that. Hmm. And can you see that, in spite of me adding something, it looks titanium white. This is the thing that I don't like about it. Ah, I need to add a bit more of yellow ochre or something here. Tiny bit of yellow ochre is just blended here for me to make sure that The teeth isn't totally white. I don't want that. Yeah. Yes. And okay, so that's giving that effect of the teeth. Okay. And that's the teeth. And I think I will, when I repaint this, I think I made some curves here, which I don't think I will use when I repaint. Yeah. So that's one of the main things that I wanted to do. And aside from that, just gonna give a very, very thin, light border here to the mouth. Mm, slightly highlighting the contour a little bit here, but we will come back to that very soon. This is not the right white, I can tell you. I could have mixed a little more of the yellow ochre. Mm, yes. Titanium white tends to brighten up things a little too much than you might want to. That's why, need to be very careful with that, especially on animals. Okay. Now I think we are ready to mix the yellow ochre and use it for the face. So I'm going to take brush number 1 and take in directly yellow ochre. Maybe blend a slight bit of titanium white, not too much, just to lighten it a little bit. And then I'm going to go over the face structure fully, filling that fully. So we are like looking at the face only. And to the yellow ochre, what I have done is to add a very tiny bit of titanium white so it's lighter. If you already have yellow ochre light you are using, then you don't need to mix any other color to that. So we're just filling it first, and we are going to use this place as a palette and blend things directly onto it. So what am I going to blend this with? Yes, I will use titanium white. I might use a vermilion. Sorry, vermilion a little bit, not too much. Vermilion mostly I will use burnt umber wherever I need to do a dark, and titanium white wherever I want to do a light. Hmm. Completely darken things, then I would use ivory black as well. So I'm just blending in this. Also remember that you will have to think of it as the layer before the final layer, layer 4. The reason is we are going to, if we manage to finish this layer nicely, then we can use the fifth layer for the um, nice fine hairlines that you want to draw or paint, yeah, on the animal. So the face is now looking better. Now I want to take a bit of burnt umber in the same brush number one. Not too much, ever so lightly. I'm going to build that shade here around the bone structure, the side. And I'm just going to blend that in. Yeah. I am making circular motions, but I'm also keeping those angles intact of the skull that I want to show. Mhm. If I have excess, I'm just removing it from my brush. So I'm able to focus on blending those. So I have managed that shape. I wanted to adjust it slightly a bit here, the face, the angle. Mhm. For the lightening, I'm taking a little more of titanium white exactly on the tip of the brush and lightening it up in the area just above the eye, ever so lightly so it doesn't show up too strong. Okay. Just creating that shade of the nose, the shape of the nose by ever so lightly blending in that color and lightening it up. You can make it look slightly pinkish if you want to add vermilion. It might look slightly on a what do you call but this is a very tricky color with vermilion. It might start toning down to a pinkish color. We know that because there is already yellow ochre playing the game. We don't want too much of it. I've not used it at all, but it's up to you what you want to show. I'm just blending the colors here nicely. Mhm. The face looks kind of okay now. Needs a little more of titanium white to highlight. So the way I'm using the titanium white, it just starts showing like there is this skin that is coming up because of a bone that is there, the skeleton of the animal. So that's how you use it as. So don't do it really strong that it turns into complete white there. I think in the picture in some places they have used nicely the white, but it looks slightly artificial though. I'm just using it ever so lightly here. I'm still having the same brush, but I'm using titanium white and blending it in ever so lightly here on the face structure of the animal. I'm blending it in so it doesn't look totally odd there. Hmm? Okay, I have managed that and I think I am fine using this white so far. Whatever I have done here and just blending in a little more on the tip of the nose so it starts looking slightly on the brighter side. Haven't done much on this, place where you have the mustache coming up. I am going to use my zero brush to do some black and burnt umber dots there. Yeah, so I'm just going to be very carefully placing minute dots. If you want a micro brush to work on such a thing, you could do. I'm able to rest on this place, so I'm resting here and giving those nice little dots there. So I haven't really painted on this section because I just wanted to, whatever is there in the previous color formation was um, sufficing for me. So I'm just sticking onto that and using this tip of my zero brush to put in these dots. That'll kind of show that that's where your the whiskers of the animal is coming out, possibly coming out from the skin of the animal. So that's one. I want to now start placing a little bit of lines, but I wouldn't do too much. Um, the smaller ones maybe, but not too much because I know that when I work on this, there's another rework needed. So I'm just going to lift off some of those to give an effect that it's not totally, dots and dots only. Okay, just to lift off some of them. Start to lift off some of them and leave it there. Don't do too much yet. We have to work on the sides now. And for this, I'm going to go again with the ivory black mixed with burnt umber. First of all, to begin giving those nice dark contours. And can you see the way I'm moving the brush? I am in the contour area, but I'm trying to move those dark spots, dark shades into the sections of hair already, so it's easier for me to work with later. We have already developed those, darker tonalities, so it's easier for us to work with, isn't it? So I'm trying also not to fill in every single part of the contour. I want to leave that space to give it like, it's not totally the darker spot. I want to give some lighter positions also there. Okay, we're coming close to the end of the contours here. Okay, so that's what I could do now. I'm not, I'm not even bothering to wipe off in the a tissue. I'm just using the remaining color here boldly because I'm going to come back to this right away. I used the lighter, white color in between also to give a streak there, here or there, right away. So now I want to focus giving this, hair in a good attention, which uh, it doesn't have in the previous layer. So what I'm going to do now is to take majorly the yellow ochre one more time in my brush number one. And remember, there is this adjustment that we made that we need to hide also. So I'm using the yellow ochre first on this spot to just hide this section where the hand was adjusted in one of our classes. First, filling that in properly. Yeah, right now all I have is yellow ochre. It doesn't have any mixture, but then if I go on stroking it like this, it's going to blend with the black that you have and the burnt umber that you have, and it will have another, tonality altogether. Just going to add those streaks of hair first and then try working on the detail. So this isn't, necessarily the only way to work on it. You can, the other ways that you could fill in this color first, the major color first, and then start building the streaks. Also, that's also another approach to it. Nothing wrong with it. I just focused on, giving the contours importance first because of, being very sure where the, contours for the face, and so we don't enter with all these strokes into the face accidentally. So that's the benefit of having this done like this. Otherwise, if you're cool working the other way around, that's also fine. Let's do that. hmm So I'm using the brush also in a way that I want to create strokes, more strokes out of it instead of just, painting it smoothly. The more strokes you could create, the easier it is for us to show that it is, hair or fur, you know, coming out like that. Okay, I'm going to move this slightly down here so you can see the whole moment of this. So the yellow ochre practically fills in most of the sections right now, but then it is looking like streaks. Hmm. The streaks aren't so natural, one thing. Um, Also because we are not doing that edge of each and every hair here. That's by design because I want to work on the background as layer 4 and come back to layer 5 and do those tiny, tiny hair strands. So I'm only doing solid contours even at the uh, end of this hairline, which isn't helping much at this point, but it will be useful for us to work on the hairlines at a later point when we are done with the um, when we are under layer 5. Yeah. So we'll focus on creating those streaks inside the space. Hmm? And that's where the challenge is. Right now, I'm going to pull up burnt umber in my brush and pull the color around from wherever we have used black or burnt umber and so on, and create few more irregular uh, folds of hair or turns of hair, and also crisscross ones. Remember that the crisscross also helps. There is never a steady flow of that hairline, so try to use that also effectively. Mm. And don't worry that it's getting a little dark with the color tonalities. Yes, we will have, yeah, titanium white, or you can use a little bit of lemon yellow or cadmium orange, anything to even a streak of vermilion here and there to give another shine to the hair altogether. It gives another tonality to totally. See now it begins to look like this messy hair. That's exactly what we want. We don't want that totally perfectly looking hair strands. We want the contours. We want the lines to go haywire. It's a little. Um, okay. This one seems a little too dark, so I'm going to lighten it up a bit. Wherever I feel that it's too much of darkness out there, I'm putting a lighter streak also crisscross to just challenge that darkness. And also not following one style of hair strand, just going crisscross also with it. And you want it to end slightly rough as well with some hair strands. Yeah. The edge, of course, we are deliberately not working. We are doing a round finish maybe, but that is, because I want to work on the background and come back to that detail, that level of detail in layer 5. It looks fair enough to me right now. It doesn't look totally bad. But I could use a little bit of white streaks as well. So I'm going to take a bit of titanium white and use some strokes here. So I'm only using that at the tip of my brush and just going very, very loosely, giving those white streaks as well in some of the places. Huh? You see, yeah, it's not even regular. I'm just trying to push things around with the titanium white here and there. Some streaks here, some there. Yes. Okay. Hmm. Now I could go back to working on the whiskers that are coming out of this area. Some of them we will, yeah, like I said, we will work on in the next layer. Some we could create now because you want them to blend in here and there. It's okay to blend. Some of them you want it to be totally sharp, so you would like to leave it like that. So can you see that it's some of the lines I have managed to do. Um, these are black, ivory black, and I've used a little bit of burnt umber lines also, strokes also here and there. This looks fair enough, and I want to switch to titanium white as well, wiping off the brush. And it's not totally titanium white, remember, mix it with a bit of yellow ochre so it doesn't look totally fair here, just out of the place. You don't want it to be like that. Mm, there you go. Yes, I guess I will make a stop with that. Whiskers there, using the rest of the white somewhere useful in the places where it could go again. Mm-hmm. Yeah, cool. Hmm. All right, this gets better. I want to just reduce the jawline a bit, so I'm just gonna go doing this around. So it doesn't. So I just managed to reduce the jawline a tad bit here by increasing those strokes there. Yeah. Hmm. Okay, that was one. I think I would want to increase a little bit on this side as well. So I'm going to play with the other head. Mm-hmm. So I'm bringing that contour a little bit inside so it doesn't look like the exact hair is standing, from that contour line. Yeah. Just building it one tad bit, little, lesser here and bringing it out like it's hair that is coming out of these sections. Hmm. So that's what I have done here. To some extent, it looks kind of defined. Okay, to manage right now. Hmm. Okay, I think it is fair enough to make a stop with that. So I am going to take a bit of yellow ochre again. But this time, this body, we need to work a little more into the detail, isn't it? So what we did in the last time was more towards filling. This time we fill in and create some, yeah, some depth and dimension. Yeah. I think we added a bit of color highlights here and there, but we stopped. So I'm going to just touch base on that. I'm going to fill in, and I have in my brush, I think it's got a little bit of burnt umber also mixed there. That's okay. I'm just not worried too much about it. I'm going to fill it in real quick here on the body of the animal and on the leg. Then we can work on the detail. I haven't used cadmium orange or yellow ochre. Sorry, cadmium orange or yellow or lemon yellow or such. But yeah, it's. I think it could be slightly enhancing to use them at the end of it. We'll do it at the end of it if we need. So I'm just quickly filling in those legs. There are two legs that are visible. Okay. And then the foot. So I'm going to move this slightly down so you could see the feet as well. I have only filled in yellow ochre, done nothing as yet, because I'm going to directly blend colors here. Hmm. So for now, the burnt umber comes up as the first color. In between this leg, that's exactly where the shade is. That's the side of it. That's the shade. A little bit on this side, not too much, because that's where the highlight is going to be. A little bit here, and just a fair share of shading here on the side. And I will have to remember to do shading like this because that is the, that's the skin, that's the layer. That's where that's the underbelly of the animal. And I want to have that darker tonality there. I blended it in with brush number one. I haven't used any other brush. Blending in these colors nicely. Adding a bit of titanium white to the front here. Blending it in nicely. hmm Something is missing about this animal here. I feel. I'm gonna figure that out. Let me see. Okay, we didn't have that kind of angle with the animal also, isn't it? So I'm just taking a bit of titanium white here and blending it in just in front of the nails, so it gives that effect that there is this bone that is um, coming close to where the claw of the animal is. So I'm giving that effect there and leaving it there, blending this in ever so lightly. I think we will definitely cover this with some more of the hair. Yeah. We we could do that now that we have a little more idea. We will do that, and because the finish is so perfect, we should not have that. We will work on that here. This looks kind of okay now. I'm looking for a little bit of titanium white highlight to go on the skin of this animal here to lighten it up a bit. And now I think I'm ready to play a little bit with um, cadmium orange and lemon yellow. I'm going to take a little bit of cadmium orange, not too much, and have it at the end of my, palette, not too much. And also take a bit of primary yellow, lemon yellow, have that ready. So I'm going to start with this primary yellow. And I want to give that finish, first of all. We'll start with that lighter tonality here to add inside the body, the face of the animal. So I am moving this camera a bit here so the focus goes to the face of the animal. So I'm adding a bit of lemon yellow here. It blends well. Okay, so that's the whole point of it. It blends well and it removes that whitey effect that you have into something golden in the body of the animal. Not golden though, but it's almost on the um, sunny side or the brighter side of it. You can remove excess if you have in the brush. Only little is needed, not too much. You don't want it turning totally yellowish also. It'll look like it's going through a fever or something. So it's just be careful with it. Mm. Okay. This yellow streaks could go in some of the places. It will blend. It will not show totally yellow, and you can be safe with that. Play around with it. Give those touch, those nice streaks there. Yellow is a translucent color, so it's going to speak well there and blend well with all this yellow ochre and your black or yeah, burnt umber or such. So it's going to do that. It won't stand out really strongly unless you want to make it like that. Yeah. So I'm just adding that yellow streak here on the body of the animal, on the leg basically. So where I added the titanium white, you see, that's exactly where I'm adding this lemon yellow as well to lighten up even further. So the other way we could have done if you had asked me this, that you blend these colors in the palette and put them there, like blending yellow, primary yellow with the titanium white and then applying here. But somehow it wouldn't look natural unless you are deliberately, making an effort to blend it immediately in those sections. So, but you could try. So that's about the yellow that I wanted to use. I'm just going to do the same thing with the um, cadmium orange. I don't want too much of the streaks because it's stronger color. I'm just going to use a tad bit of it here and there in the just to give a variance here. That's it. I'm using that in the tip of my brush, and I'm not changing brushes at all, not even wiping. So it's got the colors, it's just blending here and there. Now I go back to a little bit of darkening tonality. So I'm just taking the streaks from burnt umber again and going over the strokes even strongly here. Okay. Good. He looks slightly better now. Mm, I could kind of make his face slightly come to the, mm, maybe one minute um, section down. So I'm just going to use a little bit of yellow ochre here to lighten it up here and maybe come in closer on the, face, the jawline. Yes, I think when we do a few more strokes that are natural coming out, when we are done with the background, it'll be even more. stronger, I would say. Yeah. Ah, okay. I think the line is looking fairly ready here. We will make a stop with this um, because it's been an hour, and I think we worked really good with the animal here. You could do a little more of darkening on the sides of it to give that effect if you want. Further, I'm adding a little bit of the black and burnt umber here. Mm. And just going on blending it in. I'm using the same for one more level of the claw, darkening the claw again. So I'm just bringing the camera down so you could see the claw, darkening the claw again. Okay, and we know that the white streaks are also important, so take that, but make sure that it doesn't look totally titanium whitey thing. Hmm. So there you go. I think we have managed fine with the. I'm still blending a little more. I want to blend a little more and also shade it a little bit around this place where um, Shakti's clothing is falling on the body of the animal. Blending that in and leaving it there. Yes, let's make a stop with this. As regards the layer five, so today, if we have to, make a stop right now and take a recap of what we have done, um, we have essentially worked on the line only today, but I think it was also a very, very, intense exercise on this animal. What we started with was to correct the facial structure. At least in my case, I remember doing a very rapid superstructure, and I've been growing with that only. So in my case, I had to really work on the eye and the nose structure a little more. Mouth needed a bit of adjustment, not too much, and then the putting in the details of the eye and also the teeth. We all did that, and then working on the hair, starting to build that hair structure. What is not defining it right, not too wrong, also is that we don't have this hair structure falling in as you know simple thready lines there, strokes there, but we will do that once we are done with the background. So we did that, and we also did the body of the animal. So it kind of looks okay. It needs a bit more work, which we will be able to fulfill, I guess, a little more when it comes to the layer five. In some cases, if you want to compare, with the with what we have done in the bull, because of the way the fur, or there is no fur in this animal. The way we could do it is that it looks almost like, in a way we could say that it looks almost complete, versus the lion. So the fur is actually making it slightly more complex, and not the fur, the hair. Wherever there is a fur or too much of animal hair to be shown, there is always layers to mark. So we will do layers to that also, and that's the same case when we talk about the fur skin that we have done for Shiva's clothing. So that's also, it goes also with that, if I may say so. Um, so with that, we will make a stop with this session. I'm sure you would have found it interesting to work with. If you are great with animals and you've already figured out how to do better, congratulations on that. You could share some tips as well. Um, and yeah, if you are even struggling with this, don't worry. We will develop step by step. So that's exactly the point, that we are doing it in layer by layer method, isn't it? So we'll do it step by step. We will fix it step by step as well. Okay. So see you in the next class. Do remember to share your comments, your feedback, your questions to us. Also, take a picture and write your concerns if you think you're way off from what we are doing. We will try to have a one on one call to support you in that manner, wherever needed. Yes. And yes, stay put, stay blessed, and stay in the spirit to do more and get to the close of this beautiful painting. All the very best. See you. Bye bye.